30 years ago, I went through one of the first critical race theory programs at an elementary school in the US. And if you want to check out that full video, I'll put it up here. It's an interesting story. But I've had the past 30 years to try to figure out what it was that they were trying to teach us, what they were trying to get us to do. And I think a lot of us by now have figured out the con, that the social progressives, leftists, liberals, social justice warriors, Antifa, BLM, whatever the various factions on the left or side of things may call themselves, that what they're striving for is some kind of power. They want power, control, stuff. It's the same sort of drive that, everybody's had since the beginning of time. Everybody's been pushing to increase themselves and, just kind of get a leg up on everybody else. But we're going to take a look one level down because this is extremely interesting. I think that what we're looking at, the kind of drive behind all of this, is something that we thought was dead. We thought this was a monster that had pretty much gone away in the West, and it didn't go anywhere. Back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, we had a lot of movements that could be called social Darwinist. Social Darwinism takes the ideas of Darwin, which kind of pits all of the animals against each other. Whatever is strongest survives, whatever is weakest dies, and it applies it to humanity. That's social Darwinism. And we had all kinds of groups that figured, okay, I'm better than everybody else, I'm going to take whatever I want, and I'm actually going to eliminate the competition, because if I'm living in a world of limited resources, why should I have to compete with this guy? Let's get rid of him. It is not gone. I think the monster has just been kind of laying dormant, and it has a new head on it, a new face, a little bit of a twist on it. So instead of somebody thinking that they're necessarily better than somebody else, it's more like the survival is the goal. It's just we want to survive, dominate, thrive. We're going to be the top of the heap, and everybody else is going to be below us. We'll explore this worldview through the eyes of Andy here. Andy has just been told that the universe is a colossal accident and that he's a minor accident within it. There's nothing really special about him. He's not a unique creation of a God. There is no God. There's nothing outside the material world. There is no spirit. There is no transcendence. There is no objective morality. There are no objective rules. He lives in a world of chaos where pretty much the best that he can hope for is to just live as long as possible and to have as pleasurable a set of experiences as he can come up with. And he's going to try to navigate that in this, kind of harsh world where he considers everything to be at odds with him. There are limited resources. Everybody's fighting over them, both in the animal kingdom and people as well, kind of fighting against each other. So yeah, he feels vulnerable. Now maybe he could be part of a tribe. Maybe he could find some affinity with a group, like people that are his same nationality, maybe a racial group, color, what he does with his genitals, all kinds of stuff. He can try to figure out what kind of group he could be part of, and he's going to try to analyze the rest of the world in terms of these tribes. We have groups of people that are fighting against each other, not necessarily individuals in this case. All right, so where is all the power, the wealth, the money? Where is all of that in the world? Who is it that's over his head that he actually wants to be on top of if he's going to dominate and survive? All right, so currently in the West, I guess all the power and money and wealth is in the West. It's going to be mostly in the United States. It's going to be held probably by a bunch of white dudes that have some kind of Christian-esque background. So this is what we're going to call the common enemy. This is going to be the enemy of everybody that's feeling vulnerable, everybody that's in any of these little groups. And what they need to do is find a way to get on top of it. And they could try to, maybe increase themselves. Like, me as a person, if I want to be able to work my way higher in this perceived hierarchy in the world, then I can work extra hard. I can, exercise my brains. I can exercise my body. But what if there's an easier way? What if you could divide up the common enemy, tell them that they're actually pitted against each other, all these little groups within it, and I can actually use gravity to pull the whole thing down below me. I don't have to work my way up over anybody. I don't have to start a new business to become richer, at least relatively, because keep this in mind. When we're dealing with this hierarchy and we want to be on top of it, it doesn't really matter if Andy here is actually doing quite well. Maybe he comes from an affluent background, maybe he's going to inherit a lot of money, maybe he is strong and all that. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters in a survival of the fittest sort of situation is where you are in the stack. So even though you may have everything that you need to live, somebody else is above you and they're probably going to attack you. So what we're going to do to be on top of this is, again, pull it all down. We want to pull down the institutions, we want to pull down individuals, and we want to remove any barriers that could keep us from doing so. Gravity's going to be our friend here, and we're going to bring this whole thing down. In the next video, I'll describe the action plan of Andy and the other leftists and what they can do to tear down everybody above them. And the thing is, it actually can work. Andy and his buddies can actually bring down everybody above them. But I'm going to throw out a massive warning. This is going to be what's in video number 4, I think. The doom that they bring on those above them will apply to them as well. You can't have a system like this that actually really works. You can take a look at a bunch of places in Africa and Asia. You can take a look at whole countries and see how this all breaks down. If you get rid of universal law, if you get rid of universal justice, if you kind of swap all this stuff out, if you get rid of morality and ethics and all this sort of stuff and replace it with just a pure power structure, then what you're going to end up with is a group at the top that is continually fighting against everybody below. Everybody below is in this power struggle and they are working to undermine the people at the top and pull them down. Not only that, when you are here in this hierarchy and you grabbed everybody that you considered to be above you and you pulled them down, you actually pulled down everything. So you're sitting not at the top of a great civilization, a great nation. This isn't power, money, wealth, this isn't a good place to live anymore. You've actually pulled the whole thing down and you are the ruler of a garbage pile. And that, again, is what we see in a lot of places in Africa and Asia. And if we want, we can do the same thing. It actually can happen here. It's just that everybody will lose. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys, and thank you to Patrons of the Destructive Arts for making this little mini-series possible. If you think that I am correct, please put a comment down below. If you think that I'm way off base, please put a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Like I said, this is my current working theory, and I've been trying to apply all kinds of things that are going on out in the world right now, which is going to be video number 3, and see how it stacks up against this worldview. I'll see y'all in the next video.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Even if you didn't like this particular content, go ahead and subscribe. There's probably something coming that's more up your alley. Check out this playlist right here. This is going to have videos in a similar vein to what you just watched. These 2 videos we cherry-picked for you. And finally, The Social Regressive is on Patreon. So you can become a patron of the Destructive Arts and earn some goodies while helping us to provide high-quality videos just by kicking us a few bucks a month. Thanks a bunch for your patronage.